this second game of Pool B action as the 10th ranked veteran-laden Dominican Republic take on the number 24 FIVB ranked team from Cuba. A program sporting an up-and-coming bunch of athletes here to serve notice that Cuba is still a dominant force in international women's volleyball. And we'll have all the action, including the opening serve, coming up in just a few moments' time. From Quebec City, you're watching the 2023 Norceca Women's Continental Championship on cbcsports.ca. Welcome back to Quebec City and Amphithéâtre Desjardins on the campus of Université Laval for the Norceca Women's Continental Championship Volleyball. This is game number 2 of the tournament, and it is the second game of Pool B play as Team Cuba is being introduced right now. The starting lineup for Cuba. At position number 5 is number 2, Desirette Madan. At position number 6 is number 5, Diana Martinez. Position number 3, number 15, Jessica Aguilera. At position 4, it will be Gracie Fine. At position number 1, Talia Moreno Reyes. And at position number 2, number 25, Ivy May Villa Whittingham. And the head coach, Osmani Garcia Leon. And the assistant is Regla Torres, one of the legendary Cuban women's basketball players from their dominant or their dynasty in the early in the 2000s through to the early aughts. Starting lineup now for the Dominican Republic. At position number 1, it is Livel Elisa Ave. At position number 5, it is the captain, number 7, Niverka Marte. At position number 2, it is number 15, Madeleine Guillen. Position 3, number 16, Yanquera Peña Isabel. Position 6, number 18, Pertania de la Cruz. And at position 4, number 21, Gineri Martinez. The starting libero is Brenda Castillo, number 5 for the Dominican Republic. For Cuba, the starting libero will be Elame Santa Miranda Tejada. So one game already in the books today. Team USA defeating Costa Rica 3-0. In a match that lasted just 47 minutes. And coming up later this evening, it will be Team Canada versus Mexico. And this is a big opponent here for Team Canada. as the Dominican Republic is ranked 10th in the FIVB rankings with 269.41 points, about 40 points ahead of about 30 points ahead of Team Canada. To be precise, 29.15 points ahead of Canada. And this veteran Dominican squad has 43 Olympic Games worth of experience under the belt. Cuba has not been to an international, to a major international games since before the London Games. And we are underway. Glad you're along with us here on CBCSports.ca as the first point goes to Costa Rica as Yanquera Peña scores the point. So the Dominicans leading 1-0 here. Serving 1-0. Again serve. Here is the little tap over the line by Aguirre, and the point for Cuba. Ivime Villa to serve for Cuba. A big hit off of the left side by Yanquera Peña Isabel. And it's 2-1 for the Dominican here in game one. And Peña Isabel will head back to serve. Vila with the dig and overpass. And here is the set back row attack. Peña Isabel on the attack. Off the left side, that is Madan. And the attack is long. And the Dominican extends its lead to 3-1 here in the opening match. The opening game of the match. Peña Isabel, service. The set and the attack off the left side by Madan. Here's a back set. And another great attack there by Peña Isabel that the Cubans cannot control. And the Dominican Republic leads 4-1. Peña Isabel measures a 1.90 m. And a great serve once again. Vila with the overpass. And a quick return by the Dominicans. A nice attack by Madan. And it is 5-1 for the Dominicans. Peña Isabel. And their service goes long. Side out for Cuba. Aguirre will be serving. Jessica Aguirre Carabaj. With the service. By Castillo, the attack by De La Cruz. It goes long. And Cuba has cut the Dominican advantage to 2. 3 serving 5. Aguirre. Into the net. Side out for the Dominicans. And the Dominican Republic extends its lead to 6-3. Gaya Gonzalez, the MVP of the 2021 Norceca Continental Championship, serving. Oh, and she takes a big power ball right to the chest. And the Dominican Republic unable to recover. That was an outstanding hit down the middle by the Cubans to cut the lead to 6-4. Fine serving. There's the set. Eve with the attack and catches the back of position 5. 7-4 Dominica. Malte serving for the Dominican Republic. The attack off the left side by Madan. Almost an overpass and a free ball here for Cuba. Madan into the block and a great stuff there by Rodriguez. That would be Eve, for the Dominican Republic. And the captain, Marte, serving again. 8 serving 4 in game number 1. Mira. And it will be a free ball by Rodriguez. A little tip at the line by Aguirre. Excuse me, by Guillen. Here's Dela Cruz, and she catches fingers for the point. 9-4. And Cuba calls for a timeout here, with the Dominican Republic leading 9-4 in this opening set. So we did mention that the Dominican Republic is ranked number 10 in Canada, just behind them in the world rankings, and of course that has a huge impact on the potential matchup for the qualification for the Paris Olympics. If a team does not qualify through one of the direct entry pathways through different championships, the point system in the international rankings will help the teams with the greatest points in the international rankings will then qualify for the championship. So there are 2 teams that have already qualified for Paris 2024. That will be France, the host, and Kenya, as the Dominican Republic serves here. Martinez with a little dump that misses the near sideline. In the next couple of weeks, there will be 6 other teams that will qualify for the Paris Games, and then there will be spaces left over on points for other teams to qualify over the coming year for Paris 2024. The attack by Martinez into the block, and a second attack into the block again, and a nice stuff there by Eve, as we can see on the replay here. A great stuff block at the line off the attack by Medan of Cuba. 11 serving 4. Medan, this time the block by Eve is unsuccessful as it rolls off of her hands to the floor. Cuba gets the side out. And it is 5 serving 11. As Medan is back to serve for Cuba. Nice set by Castillo. Dela Cruz. Moreno with the set, and the attack by Martinez is denied by the Dominican Republic. Here's a free ball. Moreno goes for the quick over, and a little tap back by the Dominicans scores the point. As the libero for Cuba, Miranda could not get her hand under the ball to prevent it from touching the floor, so it's now 12 serving 5. The Dominicans up. Dela Cruz, the 2021 top outside hitter, or the second outside hitter in this tournament. Oh my goodness, what a quick reaction there by Aguilera to get the ball over the net as it was heading towards the disaster into the net for the Dominicans, and they recover and score the point. Dela Cruz, 13 serving 5. And the service is long, so side out for Cuba. Diana Martinez Hernandez will serve for Cuba. 6 serving 13. A little tip at the line by Dela Cruz. And an illegal attack called against Cuba. Makes it 14-6 in favor of the Dominicans. Two contacts. A double hit called against Cuba, 15-6. Dominican Republic leads this first game. Eva serving. I know with the back set and the attack by Fine. Controlled by the Dominicans, and they score the point. Yen with the attack. A great attack to the back of position 5 to extend their advantage to 10 points now. It's the Dominican 16, Cuba 6 in game number 1 of this second match of pool play for Group B. As we mentioned, Team USA won earlier this afternoon, 3-0 over Costa Rica. Fans, a reminder that the Norceca men's Final 6 tournament is coming to Edmonton in September. And if you'd like to see the up-and-coming members of Team Canada's national men's team, you can pick up your tickets today at Ticketmaster.ca, as the event will be at the Edmonton Expo Center. (16 serving 6). And an ace. So Eve back to serve again. 17 serving 6. Eve with 5 points so far in this set. Moreno with the set. The attack off the left side by Vida. Controlled by the Dominicans. Played over by Pena. And a stuffed block at the line. Vida was able to get it to go off of the wipe. And a point for Cuba. 17-7. The Dominican Republic leads. Moreno serving for Cuba. Nice attack down the middle by Guillen. Off of the touch and out. Pena is stuffed at the line. Fine. Goes up with Guillen for the stop. A double block. And actually, it really was. We'll get back to that in just a moment. Here is the... Oh, a little tip over the line. A nice dive to the floor by Fine to keep the play alive. And then an attack off the left side by Vila into the block. And the Dominican Republic increases its advantage to 18-9. Vila not happy that the hands of the Dominicans got up to block the shot. Pena. Nice dig there by Madan. Over by Fine. And a net violation. Cuba scores its 10th point. It is 10 serving 8. Vila serving. Here's the set. Back row attack and block! Aguilera with a good block down the middle. And Cuba creeps to within 7 points of the Dominican Republic. Vila serving. Here's the set by the libero Miranda. Blocked, and it falls to the floor off of the hands of Madan as the libero Miranda dove for the ball. and could not control it and move it back into play. So it's 19 serving 11 here for the Dominicans. Attack, De La Cruz off the wipe and out to give the Dominicans their 20th point of the set, leading 20 to 11. And the attack by Fine into the net. Hitting error. The Dominican Republic now up by 10, 21-11. As Peña Isabel will serve. Substitution. Dieras Perez Ramos coming into the game for Team Cuba, spelling Ivy May Vida Whittingham. Peña's service is long. Cuba, 12 serving 21. Aguilera. Good serve, and here is the attack. De La Cruz off of Madame, but a nice recovery by Cuba. Here's De La Cruz again, and she puts it into the net. So the Cubans with some good defense there to set up to get the reset, and then a hitting error by the Dominicans allows Cuba to cut into the lead, down 13-21. A quick hit catches the back of position 6. Martinez scores the point to extend the lead to 13-21. 21-13, excuse me. And Martinez is back to serve. An over pass, and Eve just puts it to the floor. The Cubans not happy with that as the Dominican Republic moves to within 3 points of capturing the opening set of this match. Gineri Martinez with the service again. Here's a set. The attack off the left side. Madan is long. And the Dominican Republic is now within 2 points at 23-13 of taking the opening set. Here's the back set, and an attack by Fine. It scores for Cuba. It'll be 14 scoring 23. Fine service. Oh, almost an overpass there, but a great recovery by the captain, Mauta, for the Dominican Republic to score the point and move them to within set point. And Mauta will go back to serve here as it's 14 serving 25. Moreno with the set. And the attack by Fine is into the block of Eve and De La Cruz, and that ends the opening set. The Dominican Republic take it 25-14 and lead this match 1-9. When we come back, we'll have stats from the first set and second game action. From Quebec City, you're watching the Norceca Continental Championship on cbcsports.ca. Welcome back to Quebec City and the Norceca Continental Championship. As the fans are getting into the mood of this second game of pool play today. Game 3 coming up in about an hour and a half time, as Team Canada will take on Team Mexico in the nightcap. And of course, that's we're starting to see the stands fill in more and more here at the Amphithéâtre Desjardins, Université Laval. Stats in the first set. The leading scorer, Eva from the Dominican Republic, with 6 points, including 3 stuff blocks. The top scorer for Cuba is Aguilera with 3 points, 1 block, and 2 successful attacks. So 11 points off of the attack for the Dominican Republic in the first game. Cuba had 7, but Cuba also committed 10 faults in that first set. Stuff blocks favored the Dominican Republic 5-2. And blocking errors, again, a bit of a factor for Cuba. They had 3 blocking errors in that first set. So it is game 2 coming up here in just a few moments' time between Cuba and the Dominican Republic. But what we have at this moment, I would like to remind you that coming up September 19th to 23rd is the Norceca Men's Final 6 volleyball tournament, hosted in Edmonton by Volleyball Canada at the Edmonton Expo Center. It's your chance to see up-and-coming men's national team athletes in action against their zonal rivals. Tickets are available now at Ticketmaster.ca, and Volleyball Canada would like to thank the contributions of its funding partners, the Government of Canada and the Province of Quebec, and thank its sponsors, Mikasa Canada, Mizuno, Spieth America, and others, the award store, for their generous support of this tournament and broadcast on cbcsports.ca. So it is the second game, a quick first game that took just under 22 minutes to play. As we started just after 5 o'clock local time, Eastern, here in Eastern time, here in Quebec City. And the two teams head back onto the court for this second game. Cuba wearing their second uniforms, their blue uniforms, while the Dominican Republic wears their third uniforms, their reds, as the Dominicans will serve to start game number 2. Ian with the dig, Martha with the set on the far side, Pena Isabel with the point for the Dominican Republic. Ian back to serve. Madeline Guillen, outside hitter. With the service aces, she catches the back of the court. Great serve. Guillen again goes to the far sidelines. Malte with the set. Guillen with the attack, blocked by Fine, but it goes out of bounds. And the Dominicans get the wipe and lead 3-0. Good back row attack there by Guillen. The set. And the attack by Villa. That goes off of the hands of Martinez. And as a result, Cuba gets a side out to cut the lead to 3-1. Vila serving. A big high spin on the ball on the service. Here's Marte with the back set. Martinez with the cross-court winner. And of course, when I mentioned that it's Martinez for the Dominican Republic, that it's a Ginery Martinez. There are several Martinez in the game right now. Madame with the attack. Recovered by the Dominican Republic. Nice block there by the Cubans. Another block at the line on Guillen's attack. And Cuba scores the point. Madan and Aguilera went up for the block and scored the point to cut the lead in half. It is 2 serving 4. Jessica Aguilera came out on the serve for Cuba. Mouth with a nice back set, a little tip by Martinez for the score. Just a nice little wave at the ball off the end of her fingertips, just far enough behind the front line to score the point. And the side out allows the Dominican Republic to extend its lead to 5-2. Madan. A huge swing off of the left side by Braylon Martinez for the Dominicans. Probably her most powerful swing of the day. Ginery Martinez serving for the Dominican Republic. A little tip at the line, a nice touch there by Martinez to keep it alive. Free ball for Cuba. Almost an overpass, but a nice recovery, and the attack by Fine scores the point for Cuba. Again, they cut the lead in half, but they're down 6-3. Cuba needs to get on a bit of a run here in the second game. There's something that they were unable to do in the opening set. Fine serving. Mouth with the back set. Eve with the attack into the block. Madan scores it on the stuff with maybe an assist to Martinez. We'll take a look at the replay to see if they both got their hands on this ball. Nope. It was definitely Madan's block. 4 serving 6. Mouth with the set for the left side. Braylon Martinez, a nice dig there, and a recovery by the Dominican Republic, and a quick tip at the line by Marte scores the point. 7-4 for the Dominican Republic. The captain, Marte, with the serve. Fine. Plays the ball over. Here's the set. And a jousting match at the line. A big swing by Vila catches hands. And Cuba cuts the lead down to 2. 5 serving 7. Madan back to serve. A historic program with the Cubans, who won gold in 92, 96, and 2000 at the Olympics, trying to get back to their previous international glory as Guillen scores off the attack. A great pass there by Marte across the court, going right to left. Braylon Martinez with the serve. Vila stopped at the line by Guillen. The set and the attack down the middle. A nice block again there by the Cubans. By the Dominicans, excuse me. Before the Dominican Republic scores. And again, good defense at the line by the the Dominicans. Getting up and getting their hands into the attack. There wasn't a lot that Cuba could do to avoid the block. Vila off of Ian and Eve to score the point. on the kill. 6 serving 9. As Diana Martinez Hernandez will serve for Cuba. Mount with a quick set and a nice block by Aguilera. Vila into the block. Nice play there by Guillen. Her and Eve setting up the block on the near side. And Guillen with the score. Eve back to serve. 6 is 10 serving 6 here in game 2. Madan was stopped at the line, but a follow-up by Moreno scores for Cuba. Again, cutting the advantage down to 3. Moreno serving. Malte over to Guillen. Nice attack. And it's going to be a free ball here for the Dominican Republic. Malte sets and a great swing down the middle. The score. Martinez having a good second set, and that's Ginny Martinez, 21. Madeline Guillen serving for the Dominican, and her service is long. So Cuba hanging around just close enough in the second game, down 8-11. Vila serving. Powerful serve. Here is fine. Into the block. She'll get a chance to reset. And a free ball for the Dominican Republic. Attack off of the far side. That's Pena. Great dig there by the Dominicans. By the Cubans, excuse me. And again, Pena tries to play a soft ball that, unfortunately, this great rally comes to an end with a hitting error by Fine. But the fans in Quebec City respond to the great action on the court on a wonderful rally between these two squads. Players diving all over the court to keep the ball alive. But the end result is the Dominican Republic extending its lead to 12-8. And now have the service again. Pena Isabel serving. They'll touch at the line and a nice little stop by Martinez. That's Ginny Martinez with the point. 14-8. And Cuba calls for time here midway through the second game of this Pool B matchup. So we were talking about the historic success that Cuba has had, winning 3 consecutive gold medals between the 92 and the 2000 Olympic Games, Barcelona, Atlanta, and Sydney. And they also won bronze in Athens in 2004. But after the retirement of Las Morenos del Caribe and their dynasty, the team has fallen a little bit on hard times, having not qualified for an Olympic Games or many international championships since the turn of the last decade. But it is great to see Rita Torres back on the bench. She was a member of Las Morenas del Caribe and their dynasty, and she's really excited to continue to rebuild this Cuban program as the second assistant. So there's 4 touches there because the ball did not actually get over the line. An illegal block was called against Cuba. The Dominican coach, Quake, was on top of that, trying to ensure that the officials noticed the illegal attack and a illegal block, a long attack. Scores for the Dominican Republic, leading 15-8 here. It's Pena Isabel serving. Stuff block by Martinez and by the two Martinez, Braylon and Gina-Marie. Extends the lead to 8. Yanquera Peña Isabel with the serve and the service ace. Peña Isabel serving again. And the service goes long. So a service error gets a side out for Cuba. And it's 9 serving 17. Aguilera serving for Cuba. So we'll have a substitution first, as coming into the game is Darius Perez Ramos, and she will spell Ivy May Vila Whittingham. Vila is the leading point getter for Cuba so far with 5 points. So she'll get a rest here. Mount with the set. A little dump by Martinez. Fine with the attack. Recovered by the Dominicans. Again going to Braylon Martinez for the point. As the Dominicans like that attack off of the left side. As Cuba had 4 players on the opposite side of the court open up the middle of the floor. And now it's 18 serving 9. Gina-Marie Martinez with the ace, as Madan could not control the serve. So Martinez, that will be her 5th point of the game. Ooh. She knew that as soon as she made contact. Was not happy with that service, and a side out for Cuba. Down 9. Gracie Fine. Martinez serving. 10 serving 19. Mount with the set. Down the middle, a good recovery there by Fine. Well, actually, it wasn't that great because it hit the antenna coming back across. So it's out, and the Dominicans extend their lead to 10 points. It is 20 serving 10 here in the second game. Mount service. The set for Madan. Fine with the dig, but it was an overplay. So that allows the Dominicans again to set up. Kian plays it over. Here's Madan. Perez with the dig and an overbump. Oh, great dig there by Maute. Back row attack. And it is Peña Isabel with the point. The Dominicans up by 11, 21-10. It's been a couple of great rallies here in game 2. A good swing to score for the Dominican Republic. Maute, the captain. Madan was barely able to keep to receive the service. The attack is into the net, and Cuba gets a side out here. Look at here on the net cam. Actually, it was not into the net. That's me misspeaking. A great block by Diana Martinez. So it's 11 serving 21. Martinez. That would be Braylon. Playing it over. An attack by Fine. Back set. Martinez. Stuffed at the line. But it was actually a line violation. A net violation. Excuse me. So the Dominicans extend their lead to 22-11. And timeout called by Cuba here. Trailing by 11 and down 1-0 in this match. In 2021, the Dominican Republic won this event, the Continental Championship. in Mexico. They won 90% of their sets in pool play against Mexico, Costa Rica, and Trinidad and Tobago. They went into the gold medal matchup against Puerto Rico and won 3-2. They lost the first set 22-25, won the second game 25-15, then trailed 2-1 after falling behind 17-25, won the fourth game 25-21, and then 15-12 in the fifth and final set. And as we mentioned earlier, Gila Gonzalez was the best outside hitter, the best scorer, and the MVP of that championship. As Braylon Martinez serves into the net. So this is a veteran team, with an average age of almost 28 years of age, versus a Cuban squad that is very young. This is a team that's looking to put itself back on the international map. The average age of the Cubans is 20. Coming into this year, and the interesting piece that I find most interesting is the fact that the Dominicans are so dominant on the spike. Their spike height, their average spike height is 302 centimeters, so 3.02 meters, whereas the Cubans are only at 2 meters 86. And that's a huge advantage, very much like we saw in the opening game between the U.S. and Costa Rica. That's 23, serving 13 here. Geraldine Gonzalez serving for the Dominican Republic. What a nice, quick dump by Moreno to get the point. She saw an opening and just tapped the ball with two hands to the floor on the Dominican side of the court. 23-14. Cuba trailing. And serving. Moreno serve. And here's the attack off the far side by Peralta. And a point for the Dominicans, who move to within one of taking this second game. Madeleine Guillen serving. Set point. 24 serving 14. Fine with a little tip at the line and overpass. Sets it up for Cuba. Fine again. Guillen with the dig. Here's Mount. Far side, Peralta, and the attack is long. Cuba remains in the second set. Down 15-24 is the score, is what they're down by right now. So they're going to need a huge run here. Mount, Peralta. There is a back set for for Fine. And a back set again for Fine. A little dump. Guillen with the dig. Here's the set. Attacked by Peralta. And it is blocked. And a point to Cuba. So Cuba not going away in this second game, down 16-24. No room for error here. Diarras Perez serving for Cuba. Mount with the pass. And a great block again by the Cubans to cut the lead to 7. They're down 24-17. Oh, good recovery by the libero. Castillo again, setting up a free ball here for Guillen over the line. Here's Fine with the attack, blocked. Nice recovery by Moreno. the set. Left side now. Madan. Castillo again. Free ball for Cuba. An attack by Madan into the block. It falls to the floor, and the Dominican Republic takes game 2, 25-17. But there were 3 outstanding rallies in that second game, including the final point. That is ended in that stuff block. So 25-17 is the score in game 2. The Dominican Republic leads this match 2-0. We'll have the third set in just a moment's time. You're watching the 2023 Norceca Continental Championship on cbcsports.ca. Welcome back to Quebec City and the 2023 Norceca Continental Championship. We're glad that you're along with us here on cbcsports.ca in Canada and around the world on the CBC's digital platforms. We'll be here with you all week long as we play down to a champion. But while we have your attention for a moment, Volleyball Canada would like to recognize the hard work of the local organizing committee, including the staff here at Université Laval, for all of their outstanding support, and also to the fans who are starting to come out in greater and greater numbers in anticipation of Team Canada's match against Mexico coming up in a little under 90 minutes time here at Université Laval. And a reminder for those viewers in the Edmonton area that Volleyball Canada is hosting the Norceca Men's Final 6 event, September 19th to 23rd at the Edmonton Expo Center. This is your chance to see the up-and-coming men's national team athletes in action against their zonal rivals. Tickets are available right now at ticketmaster.ca. So Cuba down 2-0 in this match, and they will serve to start game number 3. Ivy Mayvita will serve to start this critical game for the Cubans. Top scorer so far in the match, Yanquira Peña Isabel with 8 points for the Dominican Republic. Vila with a high spinning serve. And the attack by Peralta. Scores. Peralta will be back to serve. 1-0. We're early on here in the third set. The attack by Madan. Nice recovery there by Martinez, diving to the floor. And overpass, and here, or free ball, excuse me, and then Madan's attack goes long. She was looking for fingers. She didn't get it, and the Dominican Republic lead 2-0. A little bit of humidity on the court that Braylon Martinez Tries to eliminate with her shoes. A quick attack by Aguilera for Cuba scores. And Cuba has a chance to serve to tie up this third set. We're very early on here, but it would be the first time that we would be tied at all in this match. Perez have you with the serve. And a point for the Dominicans. Braylon Martinez again. It's a little tip into no man's land back. Position 1. Or position 6, excuse me. And over hit and fine. Goes over the net and just taps it in onto the floor. Cuba down 2-3. Crazy fine. Martinez serving for Cuba. Jump serve. Peralta with the dig. Martinez blocked. And we are tied at 3 here in the third set. Moreno with the block for Cuba. Finds jump serve again. It is just long. So the Dominicans get the side out and take the advantage back for 3 here in game 3. Madeline Guillen serving for the Dominican Republic. Moreno set for Madan. And the attack goes long. Coming across court. And it's 5-3 for the Dominicans. Guillen serving again. The third consecutive serve. And this one floats long. Cuba gets the side out on the service error. And it's 4 serving 5 as Madan goes back to serve for Cuba. Peralta was just able to keep the ball alive. And that allowed the Dominicans to put the ball over and score the point. It doesn't always have to be pretty to be effective. Braylon Martinez with the ace. 7-4 Dominican Republic. Braylon Martinez, 2 meters 1. Here's Moreno. The pass to Vida into the block. And the Dominicans slowly starting to pull away here in this third game, up 8-4. Braylon Martinez. Moreno with the back set. And the attack by Fine. Fine again with another attack. Nice dig there by Martinez, the libero. But the attack by the Dominican Republic goes long. And Cuba cuts into the lead, down by 3. Diana Martinez Hernandez with the serve. Castillo with the dig and a great attack off of the right side by Candida Arias. And the Dominicans regain their 4-point advantage. Going line and right into the midsection of Diana Martinez Hernandez of Cuba. Arias with the service. A free ball for the Dominican Republic. They set Peralta. And Peralta gets the kill. Going cross court. Timeout called here by Cuba, down by 5. They had tied it up at 3. They don't want to see this get too far out of hand in this third game, already down 2-0. Let's turn our attention to the stats so far in this game. So the Dominican Republic with 30 points off of the attack, 18 for Cuba. Cuba has committed 21 faults on the attack. And 13 stuff blocks for the Dominican Republic. 5 service aces for the Dominican Republic, 0 for Cuba so far. But the Dominicans have also committed 7 service errors. Leading point getter in the game so far, Yanquera Peña Isabel with 8 points, as well as Braylon Martinez. She also has 8 points. The leading scorer thus far for Cuba, Aguilera, with 6 points on the contest. Arias with the service. Madan lays it over. Here's Peralta. Fine with a dig. And an over hit, or an overpass, but it is successful. As on the over bump, you see that going up was Talia Marino Reyes for the point. So Cuba cuts the lead to 4, and Marino Reyes serves. There's an attack, and it's off of Gonzalez. So the point goes to Cuba, and Cuba is back to in 3. And a service error for Marino. It's a side out. What's critical in this tournament, and as with any of these A tournaments, is not to lose games to, or even sets to, teams that are ranked behind you in the standings, in the FIVB standings, for risk of losing points even when you win a game. And a miscommunication there by Team Cuba, as Moreno set the pass, but there was nobody there to receive it on the defensive side of the court. So the Dominicans extend their lead to 12-7. Moreno, back set for Vila. Vila, her attack is low into the net, and that will send Marte back to serve for the Dominican Republic. Marte with a solid ace right there. A little bit of confusion between Vila and Aguilera. Aguilera, who almost collided in the middle of the court right at the attack line, as the ball falls to the court, and therefore a point for the Dominicans. The Dominican Republic up 14-7. Cuba uses its second and final time out of the set, trying to stem the momentum that the Dominican Republic has developed here in game number 3. Volleyball Canada recognizes the contribution of its funding partners, the Government of Canada, the Province de Quebec, and thanks its sponsors of this championship, Mikasa Canada, Mizuno, Spieth America, and Nuthers, the award store. Team Cuba talking over their defensive strategies. They've had 2 errors on the last 2 points where there was miscommunication on the defensive side of the floor, and a successful attack there by Gracie Fine stops the momentum for the Dominican Republic. Let's see if Cuba is able to garner a little bit of momentum of their own. Vila with a powerful serve. And a set for Madan, and it will go long. Not what Cuba wanted, as the lead for the Dominican Republic is back up to 7. Peralta serving for the Dominican Republic. 15 serving 8. Moreno. Madan into the block, and it is in. (16 serving 8). Peralta catches the tape, but it gets over onto the Cuban side of the floor. Fine with the attack, and it hits the block and drops down on the Dominican side of the floor. Braylon Martinez was there attempting the block, and it went off her hands and body to the sport court. That is Aguilera serving. Oh. But that was a nasty point there, and not for necessarily because it was a huge hit, as everybody just completely missed the hit by Gonzalez, and the point goes to the Dominican Republic. And you heard the sound from the crowd. Madan plays it over, and over bump, and a point. Oh no, it did not hit the floor. It actually, the ball hit Castillo, who is on the floor, and it looks like she may have injured her knee, but she was laying on the floor, and the ball hits her as she actually gets body checked a little bit by her own teammate, and you saw her hand come out to keep the ball alive. So that's Marta, that's on the floor, the captain. But what presence of mind to reach out with her left hand to pancake the ball and to keep it alive. Cuba still ended up with the point. That's a great effort. Fine serving for Cuba. 10 serving 17. Cuba needs a run here to get back into this third set. A free ball for Cuba. Moreno with the back set. The attack by Fine. Nice dig on the back row by Peralta. Here's a big swing by Martinez, and the point, as Braylon Martinez is on fire in this match. That will be her 9th point of the contest. And things starting to get away from Cuba now. Down by 9. It's 19 serving 10. And they really need a side out here, as Madeleine Guillen is serving once again for the Dominican Republic. Fine with the attack, and she catches the back of the court. So that might be the side out that they need. Let's see what Cuba can do with it. Madan serving. Checking into the game for the Dominican Republic. Yokatsi Perez Javier. And she will spell the captain, Marte, for the moment. Serving 19. And the service by Madan is long. So it's 20 serving 11 here. Cuba needs a side out and is going to need to go 2-1 to even think about extending this match. Moreno with the set, and the attack by Fine. That scores. So Cuba down by 8. 12 serving 20. Diana Martinez Hernandez serving for Cuba. A short serve, a great dive there by Castillo, the libero, and Peralta gets the point. And once again, Cuba is in the situation where they need a side out, and now they definitely need to go almost 3-1 now to be able to extend this match to a potential fourth set, excuse me. A free ball as Fine plays it over. A back set and the attack off of the far side by Ian. Oh, a nice little play by Perez. Vila saved it for a moment, but the pass to Moreno she was unable to control, and the ball flies out of the back of the Cuban court. And the Dominican Republic now has a 10-point lead in this third game, leading 2-0. 22 serving 12. And the attack by Vila catches the top of the tape. She was just trying to tap the ball over the net to get it to drop. Fortunately, she caught the tape and it rolled along the tape and dropped on the Cuban side of the court. Cuba now down by 13 points. It's 23 serving 12 here. Candida Arias with a service that goes long. So Cuba gets the side out, but they need a long run right now to try to stem the tide and to keep this match going. Moreno serving for Cuba. There's a set. Peralta blocked at the line by Fine. Back row attack that goes long. Ian was going cross court, just trying to catch behind the attack line. And Cuba back to within 9. Delia Moreno Reyes. With the service, and an ace. Serving 23. Cuba probably needs 4 or 5 more of those points. To get back in this set. Oh, a big attack by Guillen. Nice dig there by Miranda. And a cross-court attack by Gonzalez. Goes wide, goes long. And Cuba is back to within 7. 16 serving 23. Good serve by Moreno. Here's Peralta on the attack. It catches fingers and drops into the middle of the court, and that will bring up set point. Perez will be serving for, excuse me, not the set, it'll bring up game point, match point here. Is Peralta. She dumps it into the middle. A great play by Miranda, the libero, but Vila could not play it up. And with that, the Dominican Republic wins the third game 25-16 to sweep Cuba 3-0 in their opening match of Group B pool play here today, in a match that takes 1 hour and 10 minutes to complete. So the Dominican Republic wins 3-0 by scores of 25-14, 25-17, and 25-16. And coming up in just a few moments' time, it will be our Player of the Game Award, presented by Quebec Maple Farmers, l'érable du Québec. Fine was the leading point getter in the contest from Cuba. Greasy Fine, she scored 10 points in a losing cause, while Braylon Martinez, according to Live Center, scored 9 points for the Dominican Republic, and she was the leading scorer there. So l'érable du Québec is proud to present the Player of the Game Award to the top player of each match. And the Player of the Game will receive a prize package including some delicious products from the Quebec Maple Syrup Association. And the player of the game comes from the Dominican Republic. Yonquera Peña Isabel will win the award as the player of the game. She had 8 points in the contest, 5 on attack and 2 blocks. So that's the player of the game in this second game of the day. 2 sweeps so far, as the Dominican Republic avoid a potential trap game against Cuba. Do not lose a set, so will not lose any points in this contest. As they wait to see Team Canada play, and that's our next game coming up in a little over, or a little under an hour's time. Well, actually, no, it's a little over an hour and 15 minutes from now. It is Team Canada against Mexico in a critical game for the Canadian squad, as they will be taking on the 23rd ranked team in the world. The number 11 team needs to keep pace with the Dominicans, who win today in a sweep of Cuba, 3-0. So it's Team Canada and Mexico coming up tonight, 7:30 Eastern Time, right here on cbcsports.ca. And that will be our next game right here from Quebec City. And until then, this is John Bauer reminding you the final score in this contest. The Dominican Republic sweep Cuba 3-0. Thank you for watching the 2023 Norceca Continental Championship on cbcsports.ca. We'll talk to you at 7:30.